Good afternoon, everyone. William Theo here, and this is PTV News Now. It turns out France and China has had an ongoing cultural exchange since the mid-1600s and 1700s, and to celebrate this centuries-old friendship and goodwill, and in line with the French foreign minister's visit, a joint exhibit by the Palace of Versailles and the Palace Museum kicked off Monday, April 1 in the Forbidden City in Beijing. And with the theme, the Forbidden City and the Palace of Versailles, the exhibit serves as a key undertaking in the China-France Year of Culture and Tourism 2024, celebrating the diamond or 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two former empires. The art exhibit features 200 works from the collections of the two museums to delineate or define the political and cultural relationship between the Western and the Oriental powerhouses. Strategic cooperation deals were inked between the China Palace Museum and the Palace of Versailles, together with the Paris-based Guillemot National Museum of Asian Arts. The cultural exhibit is open to the public till June 30th. Meanwhile, Israel has kept its streak in violating just about every norm on warfare, alongside more than 24 United Nations Security Council resolutions since its war against Hamas and the Palestinian people began in early October last year. Yesterday, it struck the Iranian consulate in Damascus, alleging without a shred of evidence it being a military camp. The strike left at least 7 dead, to include a special force commanding general/military advisor. Then earlier today, an IDF airstrike hit a delivery van of the world's central kitchen that just completed a food delivery of 100 tons to a Derabala warehouse, killing all 7 staff members inside. The brazen strike drew condemnation from leaders worldwide, especially from Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. This despite WCF coordination with the IDF of its movements in the delivery. World Central Kitchen founder Chef Jose Andres bewailed the hit, saying he was heartbroken and grieving, while WCF CEO Aaron Gore called the attack unforgivable. Among the casualties of the WCF staff include a Palestinian, Australian, British, Polish nationals, and U.S.-Canadian dual citizen. Tens of billions of dollars requested for Ukraine supplemental aid, if approved by Congress, goes directly into America's domestic economy to arms and defense equipment manufacturers. And as VOA's Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb reports, the funding bill hits closer to home than many Americans realize.
As Ukraine blames ammunition shortages for recent territorial losses, the Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives has failed to throw Kyiv a lifeline, refusing to bring a vote on a Senate-passed emergency spending bill with $60 billion to support Ukraine.
Nobody agrees with what Putin's done, but when we're taking our hard-earned tax dollars and sending them 5,000 miles away without any end in sight, meanwhile our border's wide open and our American citizens are being murdered on their streets, that's a problem.
But most of the funds lawmakers have approved to arm Ukraine aren't going directly there. They're being spent here in the United States, in plants like this York, Pennsylvania plant in the congressman's district, to build new weapons and to replace the old weapons sent to Kyiv from U.S. stockpiles. The York plant is one of dozens of defense industrial facilities injected with congressional funds in support of Ukraine's fight.
And those facilities range from private factories to government laboratories to ammunition plants that are World War I or World War II era, that are desperately in need of modernization.
VOA gained rare access to the Scranton Army ammunition plant, about 3 hours north of York, to see firsthand how those tax dollars are spent. Here, steel rods are molded in the fiery Scranton furnaces, forged into 155mm artillery round shells. The shells are cooled, inspected, and painted to prevent rusting before they're shipped off to be packed with explosives. Northeast Pennsylvania production has doubled from 14,000 155mm shells per month at the start of the Ukraine war to 28,000 per month today. And plant contractor General Dynamics says that number will jump to 36,000 per month when a new production line in a nearby plant goes live in a few weeks.
This is one complete production line infrastructure that you're looking at.
Rich Hansen, who oversees the plant for the Army, says $418 million in taxpayer dollars is funding 20 modernization projects here.
The employee levels, certainly it has increased, and I believe that GD said that it will continue to increase to match the production lines that we install. 200
more new jobs at this plant alone. But a General Dynamics official tells VOA those jobs won't come without increased funding from Congress. And Congressman Matt Cartwright says those jobs will make a difference in places like Scranton.
It's a big shot in the arm. I mean, Scranton, northeastern Pennsylvania, has kind of been bumping along economically.
But while the jobs are important, what's more important, he says, is making sure the U.S. doesn't turn its back on Ukraine.
Not only is it un-American, I'm here to tell you it's un-Pennsylvanian, okay? We have always stood up for democracy and freedom wherever it exists, and I don't think we should change that policy now.
The Army says it needs to produce 100,000 155mm rounds per month starting in 2025 to replenish the more than 2 million rounds the U.S. has sent to Ukraine and to keep giving Kyiv enough rounds to defend itself. The U.S. defense industry won't reach that goal, defense officials say, without supplemental funding from Congress. Carla Babb, VOA News, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
And that's a wrap for this afternoon, and look forward to you joining us again tomorrow, same time, same location on your remote and browser. And keep in mind to always stay informed and get smart while you catch the news right here. This is William Theo for PTV News Now.